Good afternoon. How are you doing? Great? Thank you. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Eko. Just call me Eko. It's very simple name. E-K-N-O. Out of 275 population in Indonesia, you can see that 1.2 million are named Eko. Because Eko means one. So many people give the name of the first son as Eko. So here I am, one of the 1.2 million people with the same name. So I'm the academician, I'm the professor of computer science. I'm the rector of one of the Indonesian university called Pradita University. And usually I have to share this, I share this digital innovation in my campus for the whole semester. So it takes one semester for these slides. But the committee wants me to deliver to you in 20 minutes. So you are all the very chosen ones. So I deliver one semester materials in 20 minutes. I'll do my best, okay? Okay, times, you can start the time because I cannot see the time here. I have 20 minutes for this digital innovation. So what is digital innovation? It refers to the application of the new technology and the digital technology to create the novel or improve the product, services, or business models. So as we know that the digital technology right now is very fast developing. Artificial intelligence, blockchains, big data, cloud computing, you name it. I asked my professors, why there are so many jargons in information technology sectors? My guru said, don't worry, Eko. One jargon or one terminology is equal to one PhD. Yeah. So every time you create a PhD, you will see one new terminologies coming into the market. Now, why everybody now is doing the digital transformation? I'm helping Indonesian state-owned enterprise, especially in the banking and financial sectors, doing the digital transformation. Because it can prove that digital transformation enhance the efficiency and productivity of the company. It improves customer experience. If you want to know, Indonesia have a very special statistic. Out of 275 population, do you know how many smartphones already in the market with a unique phone number? Out of 275 population, 350 million. So it exceeds the number of the population. So here we are, Indonesia. How long they are using internet every day? One day, 24 hours. If you sleep 8 hours per day, it left 16 hours. Out of 16 hours, 8.5 hours of Indonesian, they are spending in the virtual world. So 50% and growing. So that is, and out of those 50%, 75%, they are using the social media for everything. For education, for communication, including for commerce. New business opportunities are created by using the digital, and it increases the enterprise competitive advantage. And most of the leaders, they have a better decision making because based on the real data. Statistic is a past data, but big data is the real online data on the fly. And also it increased the agility and the adaptability of the corporation. And last but not least, because we are living on the same planet, sustainability and environmental impact is also considered as very important. Now, when you do the digital transformation or digital innovation, what will be the result? Number one, creating new products and new services. A products or a services that never been introduced before in the market. In the old days, we know the concept of market, when buyers and sellers meet physically in one place. Now, markets already changed, already transformed into platform. The place, the virtual place when buyers meet the sellers. AI, VR, and IoT are three technologies that really dominating at least Indonesian application right now. And most of the guru, most of the teachers, more of the professors right now are really challenged by the AI because of the introduction of the ChatGPT. ChatGPT becomes the disruptors in Indonesia, in the education sectors right now. And also, it becomes a friend or an enemy of the consultant. Because if you ask consultant, they will give you proposal, and then after you paid, and then you give your advisories. But in the ChatGPT, you can ask by real time, and whatever you want to do, what you want to know, is there. So it's really a challenge for the advisor, for the consultants, for the teachers, lecturers, etc. Luckily, those AI cannot give opinion. They are working on the statistical inference, not giving a subjective opinion. The second shape of the digital transformation or innovation is the process optimization and automation. We know that right now we don't have to go to the banks come to us. We don't have to go to the campus, we don't have to go to the school or the campus come to us. We don't have to go to the supermarket will go to our home. So this is also the outcome of the digital transformation. Business model transformation. Before, we only have a limited business model. You pay when you buy things or you try to credit things. But right now, you can pay per use. You can pay per demand. You can pay per volumes. And all are digital. The introduction of Netflix, YouTube movies, give you the idea how the business model makes a difference right now. It's shifting to the physical to the digital channels. The shape of the digital transformation number 4 is a data-driven decision making. Before, we know the concept of database. Database is simply a structured data. But now, we don't just rely on the database because our customers communicate using the social media. They communicate using Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. By the way, Indonesia always in the 5 top of those applications. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, we are still on the 5 big customers in the world. Because we like to share. We like to give good stories to everybody. So I said to them that you don't have to ask Indonesian about many things. They will let you know where they are, what are they feeling every minute. Jakarta is the number 1 country who tweet the most per minute. Yeah, per minute, Jakarta City. Tweeting per minute, Jakarta is still number 1. For example, you know what is the tradition in Indonesia? If you go to dinner or lunch, for example, when you sit down on the table, they will take pictures, right? They share it. Here come the appetizer. They will photo the appetizer before they eat it. And then the main course, they will take the picture of the main course and share it. Can you imagine if we have a Chinese dining? 7 or 9 of 11 courses, and they will take the picture and share it. So if you want to know what are in the customer's mind, you have to take the data from the social media. So that's why big data becomes big market in Indonesia. They want to know what are the customers' behaviors, what do they want, and they take the unstructured data from those social media, including WhatsApp. Number 5 is the collaborative ecosystem. As you know, we are the archipelagic countries. You know how many islands Indonesia have? Any idea? How many islands in Indonesia? I opened 10 books, 10 reference, and they come out with the 10 different numbers. About 7 years ago, I conducted a special research to know how many islands we have. I collect 100 publications, and all those 100 different numbers of Indonesian island. But after I conducted the research, my conclusion is all the numbers are correct. You know why? Because it depends on the position of the moon. During the full moon, right? Yeah, the level of sea increase. So we have about 13,000 islands. No moon, about 18,000 islands. So 5,000 islands sometimes is there, sometimes it's not. It depends on the position of the moon. That's why sometimes we have problem with Malaysia, with the Philippines, right? With the Thailand, because we are in the boundary. So it depends on when you see the island, during the full moon or no moon at all. So all islands are good. And you believe it or not, out of 18,000 islands, only 3,000 islands already have names. So you can name any island you choose in Indonesia because it doesn't have name yet. Collaboration is very important because we are separated in the different islands. It's very difficult for us to manage logistics systems. It is different for us to manage the food distribution. So technology is very crucial in our country. So here we come, the Industrial Revolution 4.0 and the Society 5.0. Most of the company, especially multinational company in Indonesia, they are trying to embrace this concept. The concept of Industrial Revolution 4.0 is simply the connectivity and the automation. By using the advanced technology and using the IoT, we are trying to bring Indonesia to other countries and the other way around. Right now, if you don't have time to go to Bali, don't worry. Just using your Google VR, you can be on the beach. Right? You don't have to go to Borobudur physically because we have a special Borobudur tour by using a virtual reality. And Society 5.0 is coming in the human-centric approach. There are so many social problems still exist in many countries. The distribution of the food, the access to the quality education, the problem of the logistic are still happening in our country. So what we are trying to do is, can we integrate the physical environment with the digital environment so that we can come out with a solution for those issues? I give you the examples. In Indonesia, we have about 4,500 universities. But out of 4,500 universities, only 30% of Indonesians go to the university, go to the college. We still have 70% people out there don't go to the universities. Why? Because today universities are very conventional in practices. You have to go physically to the campus. You have to meet your professors. You have to do the assessment, etc. They cannot do that because they have to work in the remote area. That's why you will see that Indonesia right now develop what we call as the MOOC, Massive Open Online Course by the Open University. Indonesian Open University have about 400,000 students all over the countries. They don't have to go to the campus. They just open the notebook, open the handphones, and they can choose whatever courses they would like to use. So right now, after the pandemic, we are trying to do that from the primary school to the universities. So at least more people can have access to the quality education. Out of those 18,000 islands, only 5 major islands in Indonesia. And out of the 5 major islands, about 70% economies are in this island, the Java Island. You can see a problem of disparity in other islands. So, how to address these social issues? We are using the technology. Now, based on our experience, one company succeed in doing the transformation, doing the innovation. But many of the enterprise fail to do that. And when we see what is the key success factors, is number one actually the vision and the strategy of the leaders. The mindset of the leaders. If the leaders and the top management don't really care about the digital innovation, and so the other people inside the enterprise. And the most important thing from the vision, strategy, and the leadership is changing the mindset. If you open Indonesian wallet, any wallet, I'll do the research, you will see so many cards in the wallet. Average of Indonesian have 13 cards on the wallet. Why? Because every company, every banking, every big company, they do the digitalization without the proper digital mindset. Can you imagine if all banks do the digitalization by introducing a new card? And all the merchants on the big mall doing the internal digitalization by introducing more cards. 13 is the average of Indonesian men. For a female, they have a bigger wallet. About 23.5 average of cards. Discount card, gym card, ID card. That's what I call digitalization without a proper digital mindset. The question is, do we need a card? Somebody said, we just need one card. And somebody said, no, we don't need a card. We just need an app. One app is enough. And maybe somebody said, we don't need a card, we don't need an app. Just bring your face everywhere. Because the camera, the CCTV, can recognize who you are. So if you want to know whether Indonesia already have an efficient payment system or not, just look into the wallet as KPI. The thicker the wallet means we are still far away from the digital transformation as the nation. That comes number 3. Why? Because we have to look into the customer point of view. I'm the customer. I'm collecting cards. Is it possible there's no card at all? Yes, of course. But do you want to do the change on that particular moment? Change management is the most difficult things to do. In my house, I have one big shelf consists of all change management books from 3,000 pages until one small page. And usually if my students want to do the change management in their organization, I start by giving him the 3,000 pages. If it fails, I give the 1,000 pages. If it fails, I give a 100 pages. And usually the most effective one is the 1 page. Do you know what is the 1 page? The most simple and effective way of doing the change management in Indonesia is change the management. If you know what I mean. Because of number 1 and number 2. That's what's happening in our government. That's what's happening in our state-owned enterprise. That's what's happening in many companies that are doing the digital transformation. Person number 1 is very important in this country. 4 minutes to go before the semester ends. So where is the position of digital innovation? In every digital transformation, it involves the digital innovation. Or digital innovation enable the transformation. What is the framework that our people usually do? Most of Indonesian, they like 3 approaches. Number 1, the design thinking. The Stanford one. They like design thinking a lot, especially for the youngsters. The second one, they choose the lean startup. Lean startup, because after the introduction of the e-commerce and the digital, many Indonesian youngsters, they like to start the business by using digital. And especially for the banking sector, financial sectors, telco sectors, they like what they call is agile innovation. How to become an agile enterprise. If we combine those 3 approaches, the design thinking, lean startup, and agile, it become the hybrid approach. So most of the Indonesian big state-owned enterprise who do the digital transformation, they are trying to embark on this hybrid concept. Of course, we are learning by doing, because this is still new and we don't have time to study. But thanks to the agile, don't worry, you don't have to worry if you fail. You learn from the failures, but you learn fast. And for digital transformation framework, we are using this framework. And the roadmap that many of the Indonesian companies use is this 6 stages of roadmap. The first one, we call it business as usual. Business as usual is nothing happened. We are trying to tell them the importance of doing the transformation. If we succeed on those one, we go to the present and active. What is present and active? Present and active is the management give freedom to any part of the company to come out with a small solution. You can do the small solution as long as it makes the customer happy. Do it in a very small scope. Because when we go to our office every day, we usually see any issue that always happening from one day to another day and haven't been solved. So the second one, the present and active, means you have a freedom to improve without a proper or without agreement or the permission from your boss. The third one is the formalize. When the boss sees that this small initiative bring benefits, bring values, so it becomes a formalized. The whole units of the company use this one as the SOP. So the initiative, the small initiative that succeed become a formal SOP, become the formal procedures. It's a formalized. We call it strategic if the initiative coming from more than one unit or division. It's cross-divisional initiative. Finance people meet the operational, they come out with a new idea. Marketing meets the finance, meets the HR, coming with a new idea. This already becomes strategic because it's already cross-departmental. Number 4, converse mean the enterprise already knows that the transformation, the digital transformation is a never-ending journey. So what they do is they create a special unit. They create a special teams who conduct digital journey transformation every day until the end of the world. It's a long and winding road, said the Beatles. And the last one, it becomes the daily culture. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the whole one semester because these monitors say time's up. But don't worry, I give you 7 conclusions. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and those are your homework. Because this presentation will be delivered to you, so I hope this small session of sharing can be beneficial for all of you. Once again, welcome to Indonesia. I hope you enjoy staying in our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof. Eko. It's a Q&A session, Pak. Is that okay, Pak?
Okay. You can ask anything related
Anyone
or not.
want to ask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy if you ask a question where the answer is yes or no. Any question about anything, about maybe you want to know about Indonesia, about Jakarta? Yeah, yes please. Can we have the microphone? Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Yes, these before we give them to... Hello?
Yeah.
Eko, thank you very much. That was, once again, very informative. It's interesting you talk about change, whether it's in digital transformation or anything else. I've always found that to be the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And your suggestion was, well, let's replace management. That's an easy solution, but not too often can it be done. I'd be interested in your experience in even dealing with digital transformation, the success that you've had in actually sort of introducing this new initiative to an organisation who more often than not may not appreciate the benefit of this particular process. So I'd be interested in your experience and thoughts as to whether in fact has that been a real challenge?
Okay. So if I talk to the top management to get the support in digital transformation, I never ask with the presentation because there are so many presentations in place. I give them the real examples, I give you the example. Usually my team, for example, they have come up with the idea and they create one small features. And during the BOD meeting, I show my handphone to the CEO and I said, what do you think about this thing? Oh, I can see all of the performance of every unit every day or whatever in here. Can you do that? Okay, just do it. But if I do the presentation like this, usually there is no buy-in. They need examples. For example, cybersecurity. It's very difficult to introduce. You have to invest in the security, right? If you give the risk management result of the assessment, just showing the red, green, and yellow, mean red is dangerous, green is okay. The management don't understand how that impact the business. But what I usually do is, I give every board of director one closed small envelope, just for your eyes only. And when they open the envelope, I can tell them the 10 username and 10 password of theirs. And I say, how do you know my password? Blah, 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 blah. Because you don't have your security system intake. So in the digital, it's better to give real examples, real prototype, instead of saying something like that. Or bring your boss to other countries, especially the competitors. The boss usually very angry if the competitor can do something that the company cannot do it. So that's what I do it in banking sectors, because banking is every day they change a lot. For example, can I have how many, for example like this, how many customers we have? We have 7 million customers, okay? May I know their credit score? And if you ask to the IT people, 3 days they will come to you. But when I give them the handphone, okay, you want to know which company credit score? They put the name of the company, and then this is the credit score of the company. And then the CEO said, do it tomorrow. Because we show them the benefit. We talk their language. Their language is the impact, the value. So that's what is my approach to the board of directors. So I hope it's beneficial. Thank you for the questions. The change the management is just a joke, because Indonesia, they just follow. But it really happened in our ministry, right? When we have a good minister, the whole department changes. But when he leaves, they go back to the, yeah. So what happened after pandemic, you will see 2 different types of enterprise. The first one, they go back to the before the pandemic. They just change. But the second one, they transform after the pandemic. They look into the new things for the future, not go back to the previous one. The leaders make difference. Thank you. Any other question? Any question about the island or whatever?
Hello, Professor.
Hi.
I'm glad to have this question to ask a question. And in China, we often talk about 2B and 2C are completely different commercial models.
Yeah.
So I have a question, and what the different sorry,
Yeah.
I have a what are the difference between 2B and 2C in digital transformation?
Between the
In your opinion?
between
to business or and to customer?
Business to business and business to
yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the difference with B2B or B2C? The way they conduct B2B like B2C is exactly like in the banking, corporate, and retails. In Indonesia, if you go to the B2C, we have to play with the volume. We cannot play with a exclusive price. We have to go with the volume. Volume means, I give you the example of the cloud computing, right? Cloud computing there because the enterprise don't want to invest because they don't have money. But if they don't invest, they cannot compete. So here we come, cloud computing, somebody else do the investment. But those people who do investment will ask you for 2 things. 1, guarantee volume. The second one, multi-years contract. So they can calculate their investment. So in the B2C in Indonesia, you have to ensure that you already have those captive market before do the investment for the digital information. But for the B2B, B2B means you have to know this B2B, this B, are they the client, our direct customers, or they are our partners? They want to sell again to another customers. Why this is important? Because in Indonesia, we have so many companies with the branches, with the partners, etc. So for example, I sell the B2B to universities. What B2B to the university? I create content and 200 university becomes my clients. So what I charge is 200 university times a price, right? That's my price. But the university that have the license from me, they sell it again to the students. They get the profit from there. So I can charge the university a big money. But if I sell directly to the students, the money should be low. Because in Indonesia, we are not really a knowledge-based society. So if you're selling knowledge or not a direct physical products, they don't want to pay high. So it means we play with the volume. So that is the B2C in Indonesia. The problem is the investment. If you're a B2C, you have to have a good infrastructures. Because in Indonesia, customers are in 18,000 islands. The good infrastructure only in the 5 islands. In the other big islands, the infrastructure is not good. But for the B2B, I don't have to care about the infrastructures because I'm selling to my partners, to the B2B. Those are. But another thing that is very interesting to talk with the friends from Chinese is, when I was studying in United States, I have so many Chinese people. And I know one of the cultures, if I have a birthday, all of my close friends will pay me breakfast until dinners. I'm become a king, right? But Indonesia, the other way around. If today is your birthday, you have to pay all your close friends from breakfast to dinner. That's why split the bill features is not really popular here. The split the bills. Because I don't split any bills. I have to take care of all my friends. But in China, when we pay for the person who have a birthday, they have to split the bill. The split the bill features there is very popular. So sometimes cultures also have to be considered in Indonesia. And one of the most features that Indonesia likes, pay later. Anything pay later now becomes a boom. It's actually pay later is like credit card, right? But it comes with a different kind of shapes. As long as you can pay later, from buying a small cookie until buying a motorcycle, it happens. So if you go to you look into the traffic in Jakarta, one of the notorious one in the world, because with zero money you can bring motorcycle home. Yeah, you don't have to have a down payment to bring a motorcycle. So many motorcycles in these 10 big cities in Indonesia. So that is one of the business model that we like. Play with the volume, with the cheap price, but you have a sustainable customers on there. Thank you so much for the questions. Any other question, my friend? Before the graduation day? Oh. Yes, okay. Ladies first. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Your client already
yeah.
applied digital. Okay.
That regulator also asked my client to do digitalization. Okay. But I've ever discussed with my client, yeah. Okay, I can open deposit through my mobile banking. But what happened if my mobile banking hack? Okay, if mobile banking hack, everything bank will not be responsible because it is my fault.
Yeah.
Yes, kan?
Yeah.
But if I to do conventional way, I have the certificate. So even though my mobile banking hack, the hacker cannot withdraw, take over.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one why even though I am the audit partner for the bank, my client also do bank digitalization, but I don't want to apply deposit through mobile banking because it is safer for me to do conventional way.
Yeah.
My question is, why the bank did not inform the customer like that? But
Why
they just
they-
put, okay, do digitalization, okay, faster way, faster. But safe, don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. If you know, recently in Indonesia, have a Bank Syariah Indonesia, the problem is there is hacker, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened with the customer, customer saving and customer account, kan, because already hacked and the system down. Now, if the problem like this, okay, how do we know when the hacker comes and then the customer account, we don't know nih which one the correct one, the customer number. Yeah. So how the liability nih? If okay, I believe my account is 1 billion, but bank said, oh no, this is not 1 billion. But I said okay, but your bank is being hack kan? Ya kan? Yeah, it's hacked. So that's why. I mean that okay, digitalization is correct for the faster way, yes.
Yeah.
But safer.
I get a point. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, the answer is in a different conference. Because we are talking about cybersecurity. But it's a good question. I safeguard Indonesian internet for 12 years. Yeah, for 12 years, I safeguard Indonesian internet. So I know that in Indonesia right now, every day, 3.5 million attempt to attack. 3.5 per day. And most of them to the banks. It's a problem of literacy, actually. From the principal point of view, if you have some value, at the same time, the risk follows, correct? There is no something with a value without a risk. The problem is, in the relation with the banking and the customers, which one is the responsibility of the banks and which one is the responsibility of the customers? And usually when the customers open the accounts, usually the bank don't have an SOP or a mechanism to tell to the customer about the security. The security literacy in Indonesia is very low. 80% of the cyber attack in these countries is conducted by social engineering. Social engineering means you manipulate people. A simple examples. You know the QR, right? QR code. Everybody using the QR code. In the restaurant, in the bank, etc. Do you know that one of the hackers put a fake QR code in the restaurant? So you are going to the restaurant and there's the QR code. You think this is a menu, right? Because of the pandemic, they don't give a physical menu. When we open this one, if you have a Google account, you have 50% discount. Username, password. If you have a Bank Mandiri banking, you will have 70% discount. Please give you your username and password. Do you know how come people can get your OTP? I give you how hackers get your OTP. We are a very close friend. In Indonesia, if you open Indonesia Facebook, most of them are full, 5,000 friends. Whether you know or not, we accept. For example, during the reunion day, you meet your high school people. Okay? 30 years never meet. is your friends in the past. And then suddenly, after you gathering for 3 hours, your best friend 3 years ago saying something to you. My husband picked me up in the mall, but I forget to tell him in which gate. I want to call him, but my handphone's battery is low. Can I borrow your handphone? What do you think? They will give it to me or not? 99.9% of Indonesia will give the handphone to his friend. Because he's in trouble, right? So I get your handphone. I pretend to call my husband. At the same time, actually, my handphone is not low bat. It's still on. I open WhatsApp, I open Facebook. I want to change my password. And they will send you the OTP, right? Where they will send you the OTP? To the phone that you borrow. So when you go home, your social media already taken out by somebody else. If you have a Samsung, for example, Samsung, and you are given the new handphone, iPhone or 5.4 or Huawei or whatever, you want to move your data from here to the new handphone. Where do you go? Where do Indonesians go? If you are an IT literate, you synchronize by yourself. But only 15% Indonesian literate on IT. Usually they go to the kiosk. They go to the mall. For 100,000 rupiah, I help you move your data from one place to another place. And you are happy that somebody helped you. The question is, how do you know that those stores, those shops, those persons don't also copy your file into their hard disk? That is social engineering. When I was married 22 years ago, the first 5 years of the marriage, every time I want to give a new handphone to my wife, she refused. No, if you have a new phone, that's just for you. I'm just having, your used phone is okay for me. I thought my wife is very humble. Now I know that she is a very good digital forensics. You know what I mean? So that is what's happening. The low literacy on cyber security and information security is dangerous. So when you introduce the features of the digital transformation through the new apps, whatever, at the same time, you have to educate the customer with the security. In Indonesia, you have to have omni-channels because 4 generations still exist. My grandpa, my father, me, and my son. And they need different type of channels with a different type of risk. That is the conclusion today. So the homework should be done in 1 week. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for such an inspiring presentation, Pak. I want to ask Pak Eko to stay on the stage, Pak, for a while. As a form of appreciation, I would like to invite Mr. Marco Kali to give a trophy to Prof. Eko. Thank you, Prof. Eko. It's such an honor to have you here.